Since its release back in March 2023, Microsoft Loop has continually leveled up. Yes, it's brought in fantastic new features. From being able to do meeting notes inside of one of your Teams meeting you can take advantage of and also pick up in the meeting, to also integration with Trello and other apps in such a short amount of time. But I was interested to find out what was going to be coming next in the life of Microsoft Loop. And in Ignite 2023, Microsoft's headline conference, they dedicated a keynote to Microsoft AI and Copilot.
We're at a tipping point. This is clearly the age of Copilots.
But behind that, there are also a number of changes coming into Loop that I believe will change the way you can collaborate using the 365 platform. Yes, we're going to see Loop level up again, and this time evolve into the next stage of its life. And as part of that, we're going to see new capabilities that you've been asking for delivered in Microsoft Loop that we can take advantage of and improve the way we collaborate. And we're going to take a tour through those changes and understand what's coming next and how you can take advantage of that as well. And before we dive in, it's even more important to note that Microsoft Loop is now generally available. Yes, the preview badge has disappeared and it's now available to all business customers. And with that has come clarifications in how it's licensed. If you hold a business license in Microsoft 365, well, you're generally going to be covered to use Microsoft Loop at no additional cost. But I have also added a link into the video description you can follow to read more on how licensing comes together in Microsoft Loop. But that also means you can take advantage of Loop and its capabilities, improve collaboration at no additional cost. So before we dive in, I'd love it, hit that like button, subscribe to this channel to find more great content like this, and let's go and get you looped in on what's coming next in Microsoft Loop. So we're going to see a major change when it comes to collaborating with third parties and guests inside of Loop. Yes, you soon will be able to invite guests into your workspace. Here we'll be able to tag in a third party outside of our own IT environment, which is critical to how we can engage with suppliers and customers. And we can even edit their display name. And once we've invited them in, well, much like the other 365 apps, we can even tag them to make them aware of specific content in your Loop workspace to work collaboratively. And something you've all been asking for is closer integration with Azure DevOps capability. And we can now see in Loop, we can import those tasks from Azure DevOps and bring them into our Loop workspace to be able to collaborate in them as a team, much like we do in other apps like Trello and Jira. So that closer integration will be coming very soon. And if you've been missing Loop inside of OneNote, well, it's also going to arrive in OneNote. Yes, we can take a Loop component, copy and paste it into OneNote to keep that content in sync. A great way to keep all of that content in one place, but also get it synced into your OneNote. If you want to give your Loop page some structure, well, how about create a new table of contents component? Yes, a table of contents can now be automatically generated based on the headings in your Loop page and also provide that structure to be able to get back to information quickly. Simple way to now improve your Loop workspaces and pages. And if you're a fan of whiteboarding in apps like Teams, well, you'll soon be able to do the same in Loop. Yes, a new Loop component named Whiteboard is now going to be available. You can insert this into one of your Loop pages and collaborate on that whiteboard with your colleagues in real time. Then once you've created that content, you can also copy that Loop component and insert it elsewhere. Yes, you can bring it into your Microsoft Teams chat, equally into your Microsoft Teams meeting. And even better, you can forward the whiteboard via that Loop component and make changes inside of that meeting that get synced straight back into your Loop page, creating that single place to collaborate and also ensuring everyone has access to the whiteboard and content shared after the meeting and can keep it up to date. So let's take a bit of a breather, and I'd love to tell you more about your 365 coach, because we're dedicated to turn you into a productivity superstar when it comes to using the apps in Microsoft 365. So whether you, your team or your business need additional training or coaching, you can check out more on our website. And not only that, there's even a link to download a free Microsoft 365 ebook to learn even more about the tools that you have at your fingertips. As we know, Planner and To-Do are integrated with your tasks inside of Loop, but now you can also have quick access to a status in any of your workspaces, summarizing the progress of tasks and more, with quick access to update those tasks in place to relevant people. That's a great way to keep up to date with your tasks in a single place inside a Microsoft Loop. So yes, Microsoft Copilot is coming into Loop, and you will need a Microsoft Copilot license to use this capability, but here is one great scenario. You might have a page that you've already created in Loop with a great structure. We can now use Copilot to reuse this page and also give it context to have it be updated with content regarding a new topic. So very simply, Copilot will take the existing structure, as we can see, update it with that new content that you can use in seconds. And inside of Loop, using Copilot, we can also create page summaries. That's a great way working with your senior stakeholders that want a quick view of the content on one of your pages without going into all the detail. Well, rather than waste time, simply ask Copilot to generate the summary and it'll insert it into components at the top that also you can keep up to date. But if you're not happy with that content, you can simply ask Copilot to elaborate it, to make changes to it. Then once we do that, we'll then see the content updated inside of this component. But even better, it even creates a version history behind the scenes so you can revert back to the first version if you would prefer the content it originally generated for you. And what happens if your page changes? Well, here we're adding some content into the assumptions on our Loop page. But when I come back into the page, how will I know what's changed and keep up to date with any of those updates? Well, very simply, using Copilot, we can ask it to do a recap. It will then understand the changes made on this page through the versioning and then summarize it for me very quickly that I can keep up to date with all of those changes without needing to go through and try and understand what changes are made and when. And not forgetting that Loop meeting notes is super powerful, but what if we could also use Copilot to generate those notes for you? And yes, inside of a meeting, Copilot can generate those notes and minutes straight into Loop meeting notes that you can pick up later and also forward on to colleagues. A simple way to use Copilot and Loop to bring together all of your meeting notes. So there you have it. Those changes in Microsoft Loop can improve the way we're going to collaborate looking into next year and beyond. Whether that's going to be enhancements in Copilot or the ability to integrate into Azure DevOps or have collaborative whiteboards and more, we're going to see a whole range of changes coming into Microsoft Loop that can improve the way we're going to collaborate. Now, if you do like this video, please hit that like button and don't forget to follow and subscribe to find more great content like this. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in the next one.